Okay, so this is day 2 since I've been on the boat. I'm pretty happy with how the boat went in terms of I did pay for the service and it is dry and the batteries are not burned out. And those are the only really 2 goals that I have for that, paying for a service, and I wasn't here over Christmas break. So this is season 6 of Slowboat Sailing. Welcome. So the plan is to go to Indonesia this season, and I think I'm making decent progress for the haul out, which is just in a few days. I asked the yard to paint the boat, but they couldn't handle it. So what we're gonna do, we're probably only going to be in the water for a month, so it's probably not going to make a difference either way. And then I got the mains, the Genoa up this morning, and overall, I'm just happy with how the boat is going. I found that one of the oil changes, so I think I have the 6 liter or 5 liter oil changes. One of those broke and it spilled into the lazarette and then thus into the bilge. I was able to clean that up. We were thinking about getting a new refrigerator. I think we're probably not gonna get it. So the older I get, the more Janet tells me that we have lots of expenses and that she's not interested in boat expenses. Of course, I don't blame her. So I think I can do without the fridge. I didn't buy this boat with a fridge. I didn't buy it because it had a working fridge. That was just kind of a bonus. It's another thing to manage offshore, really. It is nice to have like cold drinks, and lunch meat and stuff like that, and cheese. But I can also do without it, and I've had stretches where I have done without it. And I think also all the camping I've done kind of has been without refrigeration, so I think I can handle it. Never have crew members that ask me about refrigeration, although I think they appreciate it when we have it. So I think, it's not just the issue of the cost, but it's also the timing. That I tried to get this arranged while I was gone, or before I left, or between when I was gone, and that never worked out right. The first guy that wanted to do it never could make a decision, and then he moved to a different territory. And so I did have another guy, and maybe that wouldn't delay us, but maybe it would. And I don't want to renew my cruising permit. I have a 1-year cruising permit. I don't want to get a second year. I mean, I could do it, but I don't want to. I would rather just get to Indonesia, get to the next stop, and go from there. It's kind of a shortened season this season, and we just want to survive the craziness of the Darwin currents when we get in the water, and should be downwind to Indonesia, much lighter winds that we experienced in season 5, where we were looking at force 5 or 6 all the time. I think we're looking at 3 or 4 in Indonesia, in the trade wind belt. And the further north into Indonesia you get, the less the winds are. So I think it'll be a different experience, definitely, than I experienced in Australia. So I think I'll just keep plugging away with getting the sails on and making sure that all the checks are there. And I got food mostly so far, but I'll be focusing on getting fuel next. I wanted to make sure everything was good with the boat before I started getting fuel, and I'll do the engine checks and maybe I'll change the oil, or maybe I'll change the water for that. Uh, I have the issue where I've kind of got the end of our Prestone. You can't find Prestone in Australia, our Prestone green. So I might flush the engine with like demineralized water and then put some new green stuff in so it doesn't interact with one another. I'm not an expert on these things, but so the antifreeze, I think we have to change our antifreeze because we just can't find the stuff we were using before. I bet when we get to Indonesia, it'll be like, oh, there's Prestone green everywhere. Anyways, the crazy environmental regulations they have in Australia, they probably ban Prestone green or something stupid like that. So we'll talk about how it's going in a few days. Oh, I think the other thing is that the issue is that you can see I'm like sweating like crazy. I would prefer to be outside working right now, but one of the reasons why I didn't come over Christmas or January or after Christmas was because the midges here. So the midges are supposedly the worst when you're out between dusk and dawn, the dusk and dawn periods. So those twilight periods. So I'm trying to stay inside and work inside, but it's really hot inside. I would prefer to be working on the deck, which is also really hot. This place is hotter than Louisiana, but I think as long as I keep on drinking water, then I can sweat forever. So as long as I have unlimited water, I can beat the heat. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So the motor oil drained from the bilge into underneath the engine. The motor oil was actually in a 5-liter container. It never was in the engine. So it was in the lazarette, and then it drains to the bilge via this trap here in the engine. In the next episode of Slow Boat Sailing Season 6, we'll tell you why we had to stop the haul out at the very last minute. Subscribe. We give you the stories of the most interesting sailors in the world and our round-the-world adventure.